Voymonk Video Voice Vlog. Something I've went right into it. I was ready to go with this one. One thing I'm going to say is that with this week, I didn't anticipate what I was going to say about the production side of this, but I definitely have some more content that I'm going to do in a video voiceover. So I will, anything that I might have missed, or there are definitely things that I wanted to talk about in terms of the production, as far as lighting, as far as video cameras, as far as storage, which is another thing that you don't really hear a lot about. Like I said, when you're YouTubing to YouTube, it isn't really all that helpful. And as far as resources outside of that, like Google and stuff like that, I think a lot of the content, great production, but the content is usually self-serving, and at least for me in my experience, and it doesn't have anything to do with actually caring about what someone who might be interested in starting out and doing video vlogging or any kind of content at all. I think it's a market, and not saying that that's bad. I'm not attacking anything, but it's to make money. And unfortunately, sometimes the part of the influencers and a part of the whole situation where, it's like, hey, make some money and get free stuff and tell people stuff that they really probably aren't looking for or interested or helpful. But, hey, maybe you can distract them by the fact that they like you, or the fact that, maybe they think that they're clicking on something that'll help them find whatever they're looking for. But, it's more about, hey, look over here. So, like I said, that's probably the bigger part of the problem that I've found. Like I said, I've not, tried to be negative, but it is a very frustrating experience. And quite frankly, I think if I didn't mention that, I would definitely not be being authentic because that is the experience. And maybe it's because I'm stupid. Maybe it's just because of all the problems that I have. Like I said, I'm me, and, I have, but like I said, as far as, I think if you're trying to do something fun like this, I don't know, knowing that people seem like they're trying to be nice, but they're ultimately not interested in actually being helpful. I don't know. There's part of that emotional component that hurts a little bit, because it's like, I think it's really easy to manipulate and to get into people's perceptions about things only to be, or use it for self-serving purposes. Like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with making money. I don't really like selling. I don't like the aspect of not telling people stuff, but, pretty much manipulating them into doing something rather than actually being concerned with overall want or need. And I think, honestly, maybe it's not as advantageous, maybe it's not as lucrative, maybe it's not as great for the bottom line in many aspects. But yeah, like I said, as far as doing the production side, there are things like cameras, there's things like storage, there's things like lighting, there's things, and these things aren't about, unfortunately, a one and single year done kind of cost. There's usually things that are involved that sometimes require, and I think an anticipated built into some of the circumstances, not only addressing things like, maybe the perception of what one thing is versus another, but honestly trying to simply get from A to B without there being a lot of things in between doing that. And so, I'm going to probably kind of wrap this up. Like I said, I got Friday's vlog because that I'm going to put this more into a voiceover as far as that, addressing some of the other things in my experiences with that. Friday, I wanted to do a little bit different, talk more about content in terms of its censorship and, friendships, censorships, all kinds of ships. So hopefully you're tuning and listening to that. And yeah, like I said, I'll definitely be talking more about this. I'll be doing a video voice over and adding that content. Not exactly sure when I'll pin that, but when I do, please, hopefully you're staying tuned and you're ready for it. So until next time, thanks for listening. Take care.